Okay, what is going on, everybody? And welcome back to Juggernaut Retro Reviews. And this is going to be episode number 12 of Juggernaut Retro Reviews, which is. I haven't done a Juggernaut Retro Reviews since about 4 months ago. And, since it's November, it's a special time of, it's a special month, Turkey Day. I thought I'd, review some Survivor Series pay-per-views for you guys. Now, I don't know if I'm going to review every single one, but I'm going to try to review a majority of the Survivor Series shows. Each Survivor Series. Starting with the first ever Survivor Series, which was held back in 1987. And this was on November 26th, 1987, WWE Survivor Series, the Thanksgiving tradition, which, if you're not a fan of these type of pay-per-views with a whole bunch of tag team matches, a whole bunch of traditional Survivor Series matches, then you're not going to like these pay-per-views at all. Like these early ones, in my opinion, because the early ones like 87, 88, 89, and I think 90, those were all just tag team matches, not really one-on-one championships on the line. They were all tag team matches, not really much not really much storyline based or, not really much behind the matches. The kind of fun matches, not all the shows are fun, because throughout these years, we're going to go be reviewing the good, the bad, and the ugly of Survivor Series, which, this is one of the main 4 pay-per-views, because, you have the Rumble, you have WrestleMania, you have SummerSlam, and then you got Survivor Series, which Survivor Series, brought different things to the table, because a Thanksgiving tradition, which they always used to have back in the day. They always used to have this on Thanksgiving, which was cool. I wish they kind of still did that. But at the same time, you already have football on Thanksgiving, so they said, why not do it on the Sunday before Thanksgiving? That's usually when they have Survivor Series, the Sunday before Thanksgiving. But nonetheless, with this being the first ever Survivor Series, I thought this was a, fun show. Nothing great, nothing to stand out, but it was fun. And, to kind of get the, the first inaugural Survivor Series and to see what it turned into. I mean, like I said, there's recent ones that have been really bad. There's some that have been really good. And Survivor Series hasn't really been one of my favorite main 4s. I mean, probably my main 4 pay-per-view would have to be the Royal Rumble. Just because, you have the 30-man Rumble. You had that match, to see who's going to go headline WrestleMania. But we're not talking about Royal Rumble right here. We're going to talk about Survivor Series 1987. So, the first match we got kicked off with was a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. Elimination match. We had Brutus the Beefcake. We had Jake the Snake Roberts. Jim Duggan. And we have Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And this was Team Randy Savage versus Dangerous Danny Davis, Harley Race, Hercules, the Honky Tonk Man, and Ron Bass with Bobby Heenan and Jimmy Hart. This was actually a pretty good opener. The crowd was really behind it. They were really behind the baby faces in this match, which was, Team Randy Savage right here, And you had some pretty, high main eventers right here. You kind of had the higher upper mid-card team, like with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Jake the Snake Roberts, Jim Duggan, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which the sole survivors in this match were Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Macho Man, and it was Jake the Snake Roberts. Those were the 3 guys last in the match. when they beat who was it? It was the Honky Tonk Man. He decided he was going to walk out of the match. So he got himself counted out. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. Pretty good opener. I mean, when I kind of review these shows, I'm not going to really go much into some of these moves because it's just hard to break down like every move that happens. Every elimination that happens during these matches. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun match, and a lot of these matches kind of ended up like really quick eliminations, or they were some of these eliminations ended up in disqualification or count out, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But you can't have every elimination end up by a pin, which that would get repetitive. But if you have everything getting ended up by disqualification or count out, that's gonna kind of get repetitive also. So they have to switch it up once in a while. But I mean, it was a pretty fun opener. The crowd was really behind the faces here. Macho Man and Randy Savage, and Macho Man Randy Savage's team. So it was a fun match, and a lot of these matches were really long, especially the third match that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. But no, nonetheless, it was a fun way to start off the show. And then next we had another 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. And this was a women's match actually here, which the women back in the day, they were a lot better than what women have been of, like, I'll say during the early 2010s. The women that or the early years of professional wrestling were kind of just there to be eye candy, which this wasn't the case right here. They were kind of more of more of a wrestling type of style, actually wanting to wrestle. But even though the matches weren't the greatest and they didn't really have much of division back in the day, back in the late 80s, the early 90s, they didn't really have much of a division. But I mean, they tried and stuff. It was fun. But the team that we had here, we had the Fabulous Moolah, the Jumping Bomb Angels, which there's these two Japanese girls, which I'm not going to try to pronounce them. And we had, and then we also had Rockin' Robin and Velvet McIntyre, if I'm saying their names right, versus Damarie. We had Damarie Johnson, Donna Christianello, if I'm saying that right, the Glamorella Girls, and then we also had the Sensational Sherry. Like I said, this was an alright match. Nothing too crazy. I'll tell you what, the jumping bombing angels, they really surprised the heck out of me, and they kind of were revolutionizing wrestling here. Like, I kind of want to look up some more stuff about them because they really surprised me here. Like, they were fast paced in this match, which they were the sole survivors in this match, and they're kind of like twins and stuff. I'm not sure if they actually are, but no, they're not twins, but they kind of look like it a little bit. These two Japanese girls, which I'm not being racist or anything, but it was a fun match. Nothing too crazy. Women back day, it wasn't too much crazy wrestling like it is now. How women have revolutionized professional wrestling now. With the as of recent with the women's revolution. And I think that the Jumping Bombing Angels, they kind of maybe kickstarted this revolution a little bit, no pun intended. But this was, pretty fun. But like I said, they end up winning this match, becoming the sole survivors for the team of Fabulous Moolah, and we had Rockin' Robin and Velvet McIntyre. So it was all right. Nothing's crazy. And then the next match we had was a 10-on-10 Survivor Series Tag Team Elimination match. So we had 20 people in this match. Just think how much of a cluster that would be. So we had two teams of 5 on here. So we had we had 2 tag teams, and so it was 2 teams. So that's 10 on each side. So we had the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith, and the Dynamite Kid. We had the Killer Bees, Brian Blair and Jim. I can't even pronounce his name. I'm not even going to try that. Then we had the Fabulous Rougeaus. We had Jacques and Raymond Rougeau. And then we had the Strike Force, Ricky Martel and Tito Santana as the, that was the face team right here. Oh, also forgot we had the Young Stallions on there, Jim Power and Paul Roma in 2020 here. Going up against I never was good at pronouncing the Bolshevik. Like I said, bad pronouncing people's names. So yeah, it was Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zolkov. Who else do we have on here? Oh, we also had Demolition Axe and Smash on here. We had the Dream Team, Dino Bravo and Greg Valentine. We also had the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jim Dangle Neidhart. And then we had the Islanders on here, Haku and Tama. This was an alright match. Like I said, it was kind of going to become a cluster in this match. Like, just think, having 20 guys in this match, how crazy this would get. And having a whole bunch of people standing on the ringside. And so if one person from one team will get eliminated, then your partner would have to go back to the locker room. So say if like Bret Hart got eliminated, then the Hart Foundation, the whole team will have to go to the locker room. Because if it just was one person getting eliminated, this match would have took forever. And this match was about 37 minutes or so. Long match. And I don't remember exactly everything that happened in the match, but I do remember that the Killer Bees were the sole survivors here, and it was all right. Was it the Hills that won? I couldn't really tell which ones were heels and faces right here, but I mean, like I said, not a bad match. This crazy, too many people in the ring. Like, I'm not a big fan of these 10-on-10 matches. I'd rather have it either 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 elimination matches. But like I said, not bad though. Not bad at all. And then the next match we had was the main event. It was a 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination match. We had Andre the Giant. We had Butch Reed, King Kong Bundy, One Man Gang, and Rick Rude with Bobby Heenan in the corner and Slick. Going up against Bam Bam Bigelow, Don Morocco, Hulk Hogan, Ken Patera, if I'm saying his name right, and Paul Orndorff. So this match was kind of more of the big main eventers here, because earlier in the night we had kind of like the mid-carders, and then you had the women's, and then you had the tag teams. Now you got the big main eventers right here. I mean, some of these guys are main eventers, some of these guys weren't. And kind of looking at this on card, you think, man, this is going to stink the joint up, because, having a whole bunch of big men, big men don't wrestle the greatest. You thought this was going to be a bad match. But in reality, this was actually pretty fun. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. And I thought that Hulk Hogan was going to win it here, because back in the, late 80s, early, and back in the 90s, when Hogan was around, he's like the John Cena. That's who he is. And, Hulkamania running wild on everybody. I thought, for the first ever Survivor Series, I thought they would just have him become like the sole survivor, have him win, beat Andre. But no, they actually gave the win to Andre the Giant's team, which Andre the Giant eliminated Hogan like it was halfway during the match, which was crazy. And it was by a disqualification, which is nuts. So Hogan got eliminated by a DQ halfway during the match. So I thought he would be like one of the last ones remaining, which he wasn't. So they would actually give the heels the win and prolong, like the storyline with Andre the Giant and Hogan. So they kind of would continue this feud because this was the main feud going into this. It was Team Hogan versus Team Andre, and I knew a little bit of storyline behind this because I watched some previous pay-per-views. Of course, WrestleMania 3 and stuff. But no, this was actually pretty enjoyable to watch. Andre the Giant's team won here. With Butch Reed, King Kong Bundy, One Man Gang, and Rick Rude. Yeah, I mean, it was fun for what it was. It wasn't a bad match. Like I said, nothing crazy really stood out on this show, though. But it was just a fun show to watch. Didn't have to criticize it that much. Didn't have to, be a critic too much about it. Didn't have to go like, oh, why did they make that decision? I just sat back and enjoyed the show. And that's not going to be the case for all of these Survivor Series because, like I said, we're going to be going over the good, the bad, and the ugly, which I think this was a decent show. And I definitely recommend this show. The first ever Survivor Series, have a, trademark here. Because Survivor Series is a pretty fun show to watch. It's a pretty fun pay-per-view. And I kind of wish they still did it on Thanksgiving, but I understand why, because they also have football going on, but since they have their own network, I wouldn't see why they couldn't put it on Thanksgiving. But I understand why, because probably these wrestlers want to be with their families. They don't get to be home that much, so I understand why. But yeah, this is the end of my review, and I'm going to try to do this like every other day. So I'm going to have this uploaded here tonight, Monday night. And then my next retro review probably be on Wednesday. And then I'll do one on Friday. And then probably Sunday. And then Monday again. So that's how I'm going to be doing my retro reviews from here on out. I'm probably not going to be able to get to every Survivor Series, but I'm going to get to most of them. Get most of them knocked out here. And I'm going to try to do some different type of videos. Like, I got predictions this week for Full Gear, which is on a Saturday. And on Saturday night, we got my Full Gear review. So stay tuned for that. What else? And I just want to start making some different type of videos because I just don't want to do retro reviews. I want to do some weekly reviews and maybe some small discussions. Excuse me. Like different type of discussions on here. And yeah, enough wasting your guys' time, Also, if this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos, please smash that subscribe button. And also go follow me on all my social media platforms. Go follow me on Twitter at TheTrueJSB and on Instagram, TheTrueJSB. And, go down in the comments, tell me if you guys have any suggestions on what type of videos I should do or what you guys want to see me do here. Because I'm open up to more new suggestions. Or say you guys want to see me do like a live reactions or a watch along to something, I will. Go down in the comments, tell me what you guys want to see down, what you want to see live or what you want to see me review. And eventually I'm going to be starting an Anchor and start doing, because that's going to be really fun to do, start doing Anchor, so we get on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever I can get my podcast out there. But yeah, enough of me rambling on, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video, which will probably be on Wednesday. So talk to you guys later. Juggernaut saying peace out.